Hey guys, good afternoon, and welcome this afternoon. So this afternoon, I'll be discussing. Welcome. So this afternoon, I'll be briefly discussing the type of farm workers. During my live class yesterday, somebody, Babeleja specifically asked that, okay, which one of the boys is preferable? As in, during my broadcast yesterday, Mabeleja, Mr. Nuruddin said which one of the boys, what of Benue boys, and I said okay, I will talk about them today. You can join me on Yinka Adesola, you can join me on Farmvilla, and I think I'm also sharing to fruit and vegetable export group, so you can join me on any of the other of the groups. So today I will be briefly sharing. I will have come online, but I've been sorting out a lot of things in my community around here, when you stay in the rural side. Okay, so what did I say I will be saying? I will be discussing I will be discussing their work pattern. Let's assume you want to have your farm, you want to start your farm. So I'm going to be discussing their work pattern. Which one is better for you? There are types of people that will get for work. Like there's some people who call the Benue boys, there's some people who call the northern guys, and then there's these people we call the foreigners. Now, I'm going to be discussing about these three sets of people, and foreigners are in two parts. I will discuss about them too, the disadvantages, the advantages, and which of them will be better for your farm. Or no, I'm not going to choose for you. I'm just going to highlight their characteristics in terms of when you have them on your farm, their dedication to work, their trustworthiness, as in their commitment, and the payment or management, how you manage them So I'm going to be briefly discussing this set of people today. Now, farm workers, generally we know in Nigeria, most of us don't have access to machineries that's supposed to simplify our work. And even if you have access to machineries, you still need farm workers, as in you need somebody to run that machine, you need somebody to push that. If you are using hand tractors, like I have some of the mini hand tractors, those ones that deal some little, you need somebody to push it. I cannot push it. Even the farm owner cannot push it. So you need some people that will be pushing them to work, or people that will control them, or operators with small machineries, grass cutters and all these things. But actually now, these farm workers, to be candid with you, when you get these farm workers, they are not, definitely they are not educated. One, because they are not educated, you are at one disadvantage. You have to be the one to teach them what you want them to do. As in, okay, I want them to operate one machinery for me, like all these grass cutters and all these things. You are the one that will put them through. If you don't put them through, they don't know how to operate it. Let me give you one example. There were some two boys they gave me one time like that. It's like, it skipped my mind. I just say, go and off the gen. And the generator was using key. When they got there, they didn't know whether to turn it up or whatever. That was the end of our key that day. That was how it got spoiled. We need to remove it, and so what I'm trying to say is that if you're having farm workers, we're the one that will put them through. But now these are the types of farm workers we have. They are used to hard labor. They are the one that will do the hard labor for you, tilling, heaping the soil and everything. Even that hard labor, if you did not describe to them and say, do this, do that, and do that, they don't know how to do it. You know how to put them through. For instance, this type of raised bed I do on my farm, I need to put the farm workers through to say, this is what I want you to do, this is what you should do for me. If I don't, then they will not do it correctly. So you still have to put them through. If you want to make yam heaps, like the Benue boys, they know how to make yam heaps and the general farm work. But the things you want to do, they might not know how to do it. Now, what are the disadvantages? If you get Benue boys, if you get Benue boys, they used to work, I think. They used to work, as in they will make, if you tell them to do this, they will do it for you and everything. But the disadvantage with Benue boys is that, one, they steal. At the end of that year, by the time they finish your work, don't be surprised if they are the one that will come back and start harvesting your farm produce. Yes, it's common with Benue boys. I've used them on my farm just briefly, and or sometimes when you get them, they might not even finish the year. They will not finish the year because they collect their money monthly. They will tell you have to give them feeding and you have to give them salary. So there's a way you make the arrangement. So if you are giving them feeding money and then at the end of the month you balance the remaining one for their salary, so they can leave at any time. They don't give a damn about your farm. They are not bothered about your farm. They don't, and they hold you to ransom most of the time. Yeah. Welcome if you are joining us. What I'm explaining this afternoon is the farm workers, the type of farm workers we have. You see, I've explained, you need people that will assist you on the farm. You need people that will do the hard labor sometimes. Even if you have the machinery, you still need them. So I'm mentioning there's Benue boys, there's the northern guys, and then there's the foreigners we use on the farm when we are working. So for the Benue boys, you find out that they hold one, they collect their money monthly. And this gives them access that they can disappear at any time. They don't care the level at which your farm is. They don't care if you've just planted. They don't care if anything will get spoiled. Their own is, I work, you give me my money. And sometimes their work are not really very good. I'm sorry to use this word. Their work are not really very, it's not that they are efficient at the work they do, but because they are doing the hard labor for you, they can disappear at any time. They can steal anything from your farm. Most times, Benue guys, those guys are come from Benue. I don't know which side they come from in the part of Benue, but we call them Benue guys. They steal. If you are not careful, they will take everything out of your farm. And most time, it's not advisable to, when if you are getting Benue boys, it's not advisable to have them in a nearby, because if you get them close to the farm, if you send them away from your farm, they will be the one coming back to come and steal your property. So most times, it's better if you bring them from far places, so that even if they are going, they will leave that environment and leave you alone. Or else, they will be coming back with some other people to steal your farm, to harvest the farm produce for you. So Benue guys, sorry to use this word, they are not trustworthy. For people, a lot of people have used it. One, they are not trustworthy. Two, their work are not really efficient. Three, they can mess you up at every second. They disappear at any time. As long as they collect their salary, they are going. And they don't, their agreement is monthly salary. The next sort of people is the northern guys. They are also working. You see the northern guys, even in the city, you know, you see them in the city, sit down by the edge of by the street. They are looking for who will take them to go and work. As in, you have work, you take them. Northern guys are only good for daily job. You take them to your farm, maybe it's 2,000 or 5,000 per day. You have arrangement and you pay them off. That's what northern guys are good for. Because within the month, they will tell you their papa, when no day, the papa don't die, they want to go home. Or their mama fall sick. I remember we have one when I was at Ogun River Basin here closer. We have one on the farm, and I can't even remember his name. And all of a sudden, he just come and said, and once they tell you they want to go, they want to go. You are not stopping them. You can't stop them. So, and just like the Benue guys, irrespective of whatever you have on the farm, forget it. But you see, the advantage with the Benue guys is that their fields are cheap. Their fields are cheap compared to foreigners. They are quite affordable, because I heard people are still paying 30,000 or 40,000 per month for them. It's cheap, it's affordable, but like I told you, I've given you the disadvantages. Their fees are quite affordable. I remember somebody last year, when he told me I should get guys for him, I told him our fee here. He said, it's too expensive, kiniko. So this year he went for plenty Benue guys. They didn't stay more than, I'm not sure they stayed 1 month or 2 months on his farm before they started disappearing in 1 month. And, and some were stealing. So he was managing, they were holding him to ransom. He was managing some. It was a big problem. So what I'm telling you, it's not only him. I've had a lot of experience with them. I remember at the middle of the year when I was having challenges, when my guys messed me up, and the one from Burkina has not arrived. So somebody that was offering me Benue guys, I said, no, I don't want. He said, there are some guys, they will come. I said, no, because Benue guys will disappear any day. And they will go with your material. They will steal your property. Yes, they will steal your property. They can, and that's why their fees are very cheap. They can leave at any time. Those are the Benue guys. Then the northern guys, they are similar to the Benue guys, like I said. They, in their own case, they are good for daily job. Maybe you have an emergency work you want to do, daily work. You just put them and let them do it. You cannot keep them on the northern guys will not steal your farm. Northerners will not steal your farm, but they can disappear at any time. They can't stay more than 1 month or 2 months on your farm. They can't, no matter how you take good care of them, they cannot stay. They are used to short time jobs and every other thing. So if you are doing vegetables or you are doing something, don't even try. Don't attempt it. But when we tell people don't do this, people don't believe us. They think maybe you are just trying to discourage them. So this set of people, the Benue guys and the northern guys, are quite affordable to people. I've only used Benue guys when I first came to the northern guys, maybe 2013 or so. and he spent maybe just 1 month. We brought him from Lagos. You know, all those ones that I said they are looking for daily job. They want daily job. They don't want monthly job. So they can move at any time. That's one. The Benue guys too, the ones, people that have been using them around me here, I know how they steal their farm dry. So eventually we don't use them around here. Now, the foreigners, I saw some comments here. Okay, somebody said, thief boys, Wala boys, I would rather sell my car to buy a motorcycle for Togolese and Beninite. They can live at okay. No apology about them. You are saying the truth. They just stole my bike, but God passed them. My thief boys like women and wheat like Kilode. Okay, so you know, I'm just saying, like, see, the challenge is that when people are looking for boys and you tell them don't take this, they think you don't want them to work, or they think, or when you discuss, people will say, it's too expensive now. I will just say no problem. That's why because you want to pay less, you pay less, but you're not getting anything. The foreigners, when I talk of the foreigners, you are now talking of the Togolese, the Beninites, the Burkina Faso guys, all this group of people. Do you know, in their own case, they collect their money at the end of the year. And yes, they come and work with you, but 1 year is not 1 year. 1 year is not 12 months. Let me put it that way. Don't get it mixed up. When I first came into the farm, the first year I used those guys, I took them in May. When they now said they will use, they will go out, they will just say Odunkan. Odunkan to me means 12 months, irrespective of when you start. I took them until when it's around November, they start questioning me that when will I buy their motorcycle? I said, what motorcycle? I thought you came in May. You are going in April. But they say no. When other people say, they say no, that once they come, any month they come. Even if they come in June, they are going December or they are going November. In short, to be candid with you, I bought motorcycle that year. That was even the year the other lady did not pay for her own. But like I told you, I learned. There's a lot of things you learn along the way. So I know now, if I'm getting boys, it's either I state it and say, look, it is when you come that you will go. I will not say a year. I will do come what the way. Ìgbà tó dé ló máa lọ. Ìgbà tó dé means if you come in April, you are going in March, as in 11 or 12 months. My whole, you spend 11 months, I give you 1 month free. That's what I told them. If you come to me, you are spending 11 months, then you have 1 month free. That's how they do with on my home farm. That's what I do with my boys, the one that come from Burkina Faso. But the one that are coming from Benin or whatever other place, they intentionally, they will not come until April. They will not come until March or April, and they will insist they are going December. That's what they've been doing for other farmers. That's what they do for everybody. They will not come until April, even until March, and they will insist they are going December. So, but now farmers are getting better. I tell my boys, if you are here, it's when you come. It's even me that will cross them. You know, I was the one that went to bring them from Burkina Faso. So I'm the one that will cross them across the road again, because if they are going back now, I will still escort them to Benin. Yes, why do I need to escort them to Benin? Because one, if they are going with the bike from Nigeria, it's more expensive. So I'll first go, I have a contact in Benin. I will send them to go and check how much they are selling bike in Benin Republic. If the price is not really too much difference, then there's no need buying from Nigeria. Because if you buy bike for them, crossing from Nigeria is very dangerous. One, armed robbers will lay them on the road. If they don't collect the bike, they kill them. That's the truth. Armed robbers are Nigerians, though, not and the people that, yes, they kill them they kill them when they are going back, especially when they are going back to their place. They will lay them on the road, collect the bike, and even kill some they just collect the bike alone. Those are the challenges we face around there. Second one is that, okay, instead, when I buy here, even if they are going, I will need to look for somebody, pay for somebody to take them across, because there will be like 20-15 immigration officers on the road that want to collect 2,000 naira. So, and even the bike, they will say they will collect more than 2,000 naira because it's new bike. They might tell them they went to steal the bike. They might start telling stories and everything. So it means I need to look for somebody that will pay. I may pay about 40-50,000. That one will now be the one to be dodging the immigration, taking them through bush paths. So I want to avoid all that. So if they are going, I will just call my vehicle from Shaki. They know where they will dodge about its vehicle. And I'll pack all the boys. Okay, we enter vehicle, we land in Benin Republic. In Benin, I will still dodge and pay some, but it won't be as risky as when they are going with motorcycle. So when we now get to Benin, I'll buy the motorcycle, and then from Benin, there's nobody that will hold them, and they can ride. Then they will ride to Burkina Faso. from Benin Republic. Now, why am I telling you all this? To just let you understand. But in their own case, when they come, they are going to stay with you for 10 months, 11 months. They will stay on your farm 10 months, minimum 10 months. And when they stay on your farm for 10 months, and when they stay, okay, well, before I keep going, you can drop your questions. Like, I'm going to spend some minutes, explain things. But please let the question be on the topic we're discussing. Don't go and bring, how is my tomato, how is my pepper, when we're discussing farm workers. I'm trying to let you understand what is going on, so that when you are getting to the farm, you know what you are facing. You get prepared for it, actually, or you know why they are getting scars and everything. So those Benin, Togo, whatever. Now, I group them into two. If they are coming from, like in my own side here, we buy Bajaj at the end of the year, motorcycle Bajaj. Now some of them are requesting for Auju. They wrote on it Auju. Some will call it Auju. Some people will call it Presse. When I went to Burkina Faso, they are calling it Presse. So Presse is expensive than Bajaj. So any one of them that asks me for Presse, I will tell them you will use 2 years, or you will use 1.5 years. If you want me to buy you Presse, 2 years, they will say no. So if they are using 1 year Bajaj, that's what we still pay here. But that's what we pay around the motorcycle. So most time that motorcycle gets expensive during the time they are going, which is this time. I learned now Bajaj is about 450, 480, 500,000. When they go, the price will come back again a little bit. You understand? That's one. Now I group these foreigners into two. Why did I group them into two? There are some that come in through our own side here. You know, there are a lot of boundary. There are some that come in through Cameroon's, through Lagos side. For people that are taking their farm workers through Lagos side, I think your price is different from we. Why did I say so? In our own side, farmers make them work. I was explaining yesterday, you have to really thoroughly supervise them. Farmers will make them create yam heaps. They're the one that make yam heaps for farmers. Me, I don't do yam heaps, so I'm not bothered about that. But they make them do heavy work and other things like that. But in the one that come from border, I don't know, because some people, I'm surprised, they will tell me this is what they are paying, and I said, well, your own is different. But in most time, they find that these people are just scamming them. There's a guy that told me, when he asked me, I told him we pay Bajaj. He said, it's too expensive. So he got some boys through their own side there. It was later he was telling me the boys, they collected the first installment. They told him to pay money, but he has to pay one first installment or whatever. After he paid, they disappeared. I said, well, our own boys don't disappear. But the challenge is that it could be expensive. Like I said, it's Bajaj. And they will not ask you for anything throughout the year until that time. But you feed. You are going to feed them. You are going to clothe them. You are going to house them. You are responsible for their health. You are responsible for everything. You take care of them. You buy bata for the shoe, farm shoe. You buy even clothes. Everything. You get them anything. But they will be, see, anything you ask them to do, they will do. For that month they are with you, they know they are not going anywhere till they finish that work. But if they are with you and you did not give them work, our own condition, if they are with you, did not give them any work to do, yes, you still pay. They are, after all, they are still with you. It's you that refuse to give them work. So in our own case, like I told you, if the time I don't stay on the farm, I did not give them anything, I'll pay. You pay. So if you have them, you need to make them work. And so when people have them and put them somewhere and say stay there for 3 months or stay there for 2 months, and you not check them, you are losing. Because our own, see, you know the funny thing, in my area here, you know, we don't sign agreement. When you just come and say give me boy, and you give me the boys, once you agree, agreement is agreement. But city people, I beg, don't try it. So this is what here, even today, my neighbor was telling me he needs boys. I said, I didn't know you need. He said he needs. I said, okay, I will tell my Ogaloko here, because I gave him last year. Last year, this year I did not give him because I did not have on time. So I told him I will tell my Ogaloko. Ogaloko means leader of the farm. Farm lead is the one that is leading all of them. So I will tell him, let him call his people. Anyone that is coming back in January, let them pass through here, let them come here. But that farmer knows he will pay for their transport to come. He will take them in, buy Bajaj, and be taking good care of them. They will be working for him. Then when they are going back, he will still pay to cross them back. After giving them the Bajaj, you now give them you give them money to cross back. That's what we do around there. Okay, let me I saw some write-ups here. Okay, somebody said, okay, you are saying the truth. Okay, 2 guys from Benue work with my brother. One day they just decide they are going and nobody can stop them. Thank God my brother only pay for their transport to come like 50K. Okay. your assessment of the Benue another worker is another person again. He's saying your assessment of the Benue another worker is very correct. We only have a few exceptions, okay? You see, I've been on the farm for quite long, so I know. I remember beginning of this year, a very senior dear colleague was telling me she needs somebody to work, and they eventually got her outside. Somebody promised her outside guys. I told her, don't bother yourself. I told her, are you sure this guy doesn't stay? She said, they will stay. Eventually they give her. By 2 months or 3 months later, when I asked her, she said, Mama, law, they don't stay. And Benue guys don't stay. Northern guys don't stay. Northern guys don't steal. Benue guys will steal you dry. Even if they stay 1 year, believe me, they are still. It's when they don't get anything to steal from you that they will stay, or they are not. And they don't do much work. They won't do much work. If you are the type of boss that stay on the farm and give them work the way farmers in my community give them work, they will not stay. You cannot see any Benue workers in my community here because they cannot do our farmers' work. So we have northerners. In my community, we only have foreigners. The Togolese, the Beninese, and the Burkina guys. Those are what we have in my community. We don't have Benue guys. We don't have northern guys because they cannot do the work we do. So what I'm trying to explain to you is that, so don't even take your money to Benue guys. Foreigners are expensive. I keep saying it. But you see, you need to know what you are doing on the farm. This is the more reason you need to learn how to farm. Let me give you one example. If you are the type that plants corn, if you are the type that is planting corn, and how you plant your corn is you just clear the land, then you pay for tractor plow, which is you pay for tractor plow your land, then you get local boys or even your boys and say give them cutlass, and then they are planting. They plant for you. You are not going to make that money back. You are not going to make money. You just went to waste your money. You know why? Because plant population, I'm not supposed to tell you this. Just go and register for my maize class or my any class so that you get this, but I'm just going to briefly to let you understand why you will not make your money. Imagine, okay, so plant population that you plant with cutlass is about 5,000 per acre. I did research on it. I measured, I calculate. So plant population that you plant, that cutlass that they carry and they are planting for you, you get 10 boys, they are doing like this and doing like this, and they plant your 10 acres. Now, you are just wasting your money. That's one. Because the plant that will come out of that place, one, I'm sure most of you that have planted corn, the plant in one space, they might plant 10 corn, 5 corn, 6 corn. Then you will now get somebody again to be reducing it. They will say 1 yaku. They will reduce the corn to leave like 2, because actually you need just 2 or 1 on that spot. Now, at the time of harvest, you cannot get anything. The number of corn in that your 1 hectare farm is low because the spacing is too much. So your yield is, and remember, it is that corn, that 1 corn that you planted that will grow and give you maybe 1 cob, 1 maize. If you have a good soil, if you take good care of your soil, that 1 cob may give you 2. Now, how do you take care? This is where good management comes. This is where you need to consider your soil. You see, most of us, we just, I want to plant 10 acres. I want to plant 20 acres. And then you get farm workers. You buy hybrid maize. You do everything. Now that I've said cutlass is not good, I'm sure all of you will go and look for planter. You use planter, but you forgot to take care of the soil. It's like you want to build your house. You just got the cement. You got everything required, but you did not do foundation. So your house is not going to stay. Not at all. So these are the things so if you don't understand the right thing to do and you get farm workers, you are losing your money. Oh, you can't make anything from that farm. Your yield will be low. See, most maize farm, most maize farm, they have, actually the average maize farm should be 7 tons. If you are above average, you should be getting 10 tons, 21 tons per hectare. 7 tons, 8 tons. But an average Nigeria with your tractor plow, with your farm workers, with everything, because your soil is not good, your soil is not properly prepared, you are going to be getting 2 tons per hectare. 2 tons, 3 tons. That's what Nigerian farmers are getting. And that is why one of the reasons we cannot compete with the market. That's why import maize is cheaper than home produced maize. So it is cheaper, it is better for you to produce 1 acre. To produce 1 acre properly arranged and properly spaced and getting what you understand and get good yield. Most times you see when I post corn pictures, you see most of the corn will be carrying 2 cobs. So I've done it with local seed. I remember, sorry, I'm not teaching maize. I'm just trying to tell you how you can make profit. Getting farm workers alone will not get you your profit. Sorry guys, that's why I'm going into maize explanation a bit. I'm just using it to explain something for you, because everybody is looking for farm worker. You're looking for farm worker. You get 2 farm worker, you drop them on the farm, and then you tell them plant maize. Somebody introduce you to Oba Super 2, Kinikon, whatever. You bought all those expensive seed, but of course your soil is not good. That's what most people do. That's how everybody is planting. You are not going to get the yield. You are never going to get it. Again, you got this. Okay, let's even say the soil, your soil. How rich is your soil? Then everybody go to the market. You went to buy NPK. What you don't understand about NPK is that when you put NPK in, when you are not adding NPK to the soil. You want NPK to boost that your maize. So already, let's say you have your 5,000 plants on the farm, and your 5,000 plants. Let's say every of the 5,000 plants is bringing one cob of maize. It means you already have. You are going to have 5,000 cob of maize, compared to somebody that have 100,000 plants on 1 hectare. Do you know, if you look for it, and the average recommended plants of corn you should have on an hectare of land is 100,000, but most of you are having 15,000 on an acre. 34,000. Corn, àgbàdo, maize, one seed like this. You know those seeds when you bought it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You should have 34,000 properly spaced, properly arranged on your 1 acre. Why like 100,000 on 1 hectare? But most of you, when you plant with your cutlass, with whatever, you are going to be having 5,000, 10,000. Now, if I have 20,000 on my own 1 hectare, and you have 5,000 on your 5,000 plants on your whole 1 acre, even if you use all the fertilizer in the whole world, you cannot get as much yield as I will get, because my plant population has increased. Each of my corn that is 20,000 or 30,000, if each of them, not all of them, even if half of them manage to bring one cob, I'm still going to get more yield than you that plant 5,000. This is where plant population comes in. And then the management. If you put 100,000 hectare, 100,000 plants on a soil, and the soil is not good, you're not going to get anything. So this thing works hand in hand together. Your soil, your seed, every other thing. But you don't do that because you've had somebody tell you you make money in farming, but you did not understand how to do the farming. And you just, like, when I first came in, I was asking the rural farmer, báwo lẹ ṣe ń gbìn, and I did the same thing. The only difference with my own farm and their own farm is I bought hybrid seed. See, if you plant hybrid seed and use the same method that the rural farmers are using, no soil management, no water management, no other management, you will get lower yield than them. The local seed are rugged. They have acclimatized to our system, so they will perform better, they will do better than hybrid when they are subjected to pressure, all these conditions. So if you plant the same way they plant, even if you use hybrid, even if you use 1 million NPK, you are not going to get results. I'm sure some of you have that experience right here. Now I'm getting back to the topics that I brought in. So don't say because, okay, I've collected 2 farm workers, they must bring, and they did not bring my money out. I used 2 farm workers and I did not get my money. The boys are just doing what you ask them to do on your farm. You are the manager. You are the one saying do this, plow this, plant this, do this. You ask them to plant with cutlass and they plant with cutlass, so they plant 5,000 or 10,000 for you. You ask them to use a bad soil, they plant on the bad soil, so you are expecting result. It's whatever you ask them to do, they are doing for you. So you don't say, okay, so at the end of the day, that's why when people say give me farm worker, you give them farm worker and they will say, I did not realize my money. You can't realize your money because you not do the right thing. The farm workers have what they need to do. Theirs is to assist you, to help you with the heavy work and everything. So I hope okay, let me see, somebody wrote something here. Okay, your yes, my explanation is fine. Okay, you are welcome. If you are just joining us, you are welcome. You are welcome. What I'm briefly explaining this afternoon is okay. What I'm briefly explaining farm workers, the type of farm workers, and I just branch to explain why you are not getting the result on your farm, even if you have farm workers. Okay, so I divide the farm workers into two, like I said. For the farm workers, when you have them, they spend minimum of 10 months on your farm. If they stay with you for 10 months, if you use them efficiently, using them means you manage them to work for you. If you manage them to work for you properly, it means you have to put in a lot of things. Do you know if you have 2 farm workers and you work only on 2 hectares of land, do you know you get and you do good management, you get better result than people that have 100 acres of land that are just planting the way everything we've been planting before. So these are the things I think I shared with you. There's a lot people are not really getting when we're talking about farming. It's not just about tilling the soil. It's not just about plowing. I'm not sure I use up to, I have up to 10 or 20 acres. Yes, I do. But I don't use all the land. Do you know there's a specific land I told my boys, if not that I planted cassava this year, because I didn't quickly get boys and my lands are just wasting, it's raining and everything. So I said, okay, people were like, I'm wasting land, as in I'm allowing the land to nothing, I didn't plant anything or whatever. So I said, okay, let them clear some side and do cassava for me. So I planted some cassava there. That was one of the cassava the herdsmen were disturbing. Now that was how, now it now means, because I was telling somebody yesterday, I said, oh, I regret planting cassava because now it's the dry season, I want to work. I don't have much land. The other land I've planted cassava in the land where I have my raised beds. Now the other land that I've not been using, I've not cultivated raised beds there. You know, raised beds is another topic, is another system, is another topic entirely. If you want to learn more about all these things, you can check my books, you can check my courses. I've done a lot of courses on them, but I'm just bringing this point out to you so that you understand why you are not really making profit. So the farm workers, there are 3 types of farm workers as I've explained. The Benue guys, I will advise, just leave them alone, don't go near them. The northern guys, I will advise, if you can, don't go near them. Yoruba guys, don't ever try them at all. You know, I did not even put them in this theory. And another thing I will tell you, any community where you have your farm, that community, don't ever employ anybody in that community to work for you. I'm telling you the truth. Don't ever, because what the community do is that all those people that are waka about in their community that have no work, irresponsible people, they now see you, they are coming from the city, you don't come with money, you know, that kind of mentality. So they will push them to you to come and work. They can't do anything. They are as useless as anything. I'm sorry to use that. The ones that have their work, that are working before, they will not come near your farm because they are busy, they have their own farm, they are running. So it happens. That's what they normally do to you. People that are jobless, people that cannot even handle their own business, are the one they will push to you and say, Elaine, it can work. Is a lie. So any community that you buy your land, once you get there like this, please don't employ anybody from there. The only person possibly you can discuss, someone that will be directing you, and even that one, don't employ. When he directs you, just dash him money. Let him be dashing him money. Will dash, but don't ask him to monitor your farm. Because you see, when you ask them to monitor your farm, you find out by the time there's no way you will not have disagreements. I'm being sincere with you, because they will not do what you want to do. By the time you have disagreement with them, they'll be the one to go and be telling everybody in the community and be linking them to your farm, and you become enemy in that community. So, but when you don't employ, you just have someone, you are just dashing them money, but you are bringing your worker, you go and look for them somewhere. If any other thing, those your workers will go, they will move from that community and it will not affect you. And you are still friend in your, and you have farm, you bought land there. So there is your neighborhood. So please, it's mistakes most of us make, and at the end of the day, they will be the one terrorizing you. Even when your farm is there, they will be the one coming to your farm to come and harvest or to lead people to your farm. And then you become enemy to all the community people, which is not good. So please, your workers, just look for, even farm workers. Of course, the community people cannot. I told you, especially if you buy your land in Yoruba land, who won't work? If anyone they tell you this one, it's not lie, big lie. Yorubas don't even do farm work. Forget it. The Yoruba in the rural community don't do farm work. Forget the ones that are doing farm work in the rural community. They have their own farm. They have their own personal farm. So they wake up early in the morning, as early as 5:30, 6 o'clock. They are going to their own farm. They will not come and do your work. So the ones they will push to you are the never do well, or the ones that are roaming the street about, the ones that are drinking about. So that time they will just come and work for you. And because they know they can collect money from you, but they will not. The ones that have their own farm, they will not leave their farm to come to your farm. So one expo I'm telling you there. So like I'll be attending to some questions. If there are no questions, I just feel like I should share this with you, because yesterday when I have the live class, the class, somebody asked about the Benue guys and the northern guys. Don't go near them. And the foreigners, I think I explained so much about them yesterday. Except the other alternative we have to farm work right now is farm machineries. Farm machineries. You see, China, India, and all these places, they have a lot of farm machineries. Not see, when we say farm machineries is not tractor. Tractor is not farm machineries. The only thing tractor do for you, like I have a place now that I've not been using before. The only thing tractor do is losing the soil for you. Once the tractor losing the soil, it's useless. It's as useless as anything. The plow. Once the plow at the back of the tractor, when it's plow, as in Oma Daru, Oma Wusita, once it's losing the soil, that's the end. It doesn't have any useful work for you to do in the farm again. Because once the tractor losing the soil, the first thing you should do is to get manure. Get life into that soil. Life. Breathe into that soil. You know now? You know when God was creating human being, they said he moved a clay or whatever, then he breathed into that clay before we become alive. So you should breathe into your soil. You should breathe into your soil. If you don't breathe into that your soil, you use tractor, you plow, then you put maize, you are not expecting any yield, oh boy. You are not. What you will get is possibly, I'm sure most people can testify to it right here. If you have planted before, you know what you got was bad. Even if you put fertilizer. Because what fertilizer does, I was trying to explain it, I skip again. What fertilizer does is that the NPK, you see, soil is a living material. Soil is a living thing. As in, soil breathes. Why do soil breathe? If you go to your farm, especially if it's a wet farm during rainy season, pick a shovel or any other small thing, dig it into the soil and bring the soil out. If you bring the soil out and you see earthworms, you see these tiny things moving around, you see ants, you see all these things, then your soil is good. Your soil is a living material. But if you dig your soil out, or you pour water on the soil, and then after some days you dig the soil out and it's just like it is, your soil is dead. So if you plant in a dead soil, what do you expect it to give you? What? So if your soil is not living, you cannot get result. So why you get some little harvest is that when you plow the soil and you did not take care of the soil, you did not do soil management, you did not take care of the soil, you did not breathe into the soil, like I said, you plant your corn there. Some area have breath, some area don't. As in, some area have living things, some area don't. Those areas that have living things, they will do well. Those areas that do not have any living things, they will not perform. So when you're harvesting, you see some area will do well, you see very big corn. So I'm using corn as an example. It happens to all crops, cassava, vegetable, anything you are planting is the same soil types. Like if you join my 30 days class, I'm going to take soil as a group class. Even if you are in vegetable, you are in any other class, everybody is going to have access to the soil management class, because it is very important. It is the foundation of your farm. Or what you can do one example. If you attend my 30 days class, what you do is that just take a part of your farm. Do everything I ask you to do, as in do the manure, do this, do that, just a small part. Then plant in that small part and plant in the other part as you normally do before. Then you compare the results. Do you know something? I don't really plant maize, but there's no time I plant corn or maize. My community will say, your maize is the best, your maize is this. There was a time they said it's because I use hybrid. So what I did was I collected seed. The next year I collect seed from one of them, the farmers there. I collect the maize seed, and then I use the same method I've been using for hybrid, as in the same system, the same method. I took care of the soil, I just did what I need to do, and I plant. Then when the maize was growing, I will be calling them. Oh yeah, wow, whoa, Rogba, come and see. One day he came, he said, hybrid, is it not from you I collect corn? They were the one that came to harvest that corn because they said they want to go and replant it, whether it will still give them the same result. But I know it will not give them the same result. And I told them, you know why? Because they will not do what I did. Sorry, our light is gone. So they will not do what I did. They will not do what I did to get that result. So that's the chance. That's the difference. So they don't get the result. So just as I'm telling you now, there's a lot to do. So soil management, soil treatment, soil whatever is a different ball game. If you don't have that, please don't expect yield from your farm. And you see, under your farm, there are different types of soil in different locations. And that's why when you plant, some plants are good, some plants are not good, some spaces are good, some spaces are not good. So it is when you use, but you can treat your soil. It's not something very difficult. You can manage your soil, you can run your soil. So now what I'm trying to add is, it's when you know how to plant effectively that you'll be able to use the boys. If you can't do that, please don't invest in farm workers. Farm workers are expensive, especially the yearly one. The monthly one are not expensive, but I've just told you they are whatever. The yearly one are expensive. Like I told someone, I said, imagine you buy Bajaj 500,000. You will feed them for a year. You will clothe them. Clothing is not even much because you'll be buying farm all these fairly used t-shirts or whatever. If you have at home, you can give them trousers, jeans, and everything. Then you feed them. You understand? And you pay transport. So you are spending roughly 700,000 per farm worker. Yes. So you just divide it. I always say, 70,000 per month for farm worker. I tell people, that's how it comes, 70,000 per month. But if somebody tell you, there's somebody that wrote something on my timeline yesterday. He said he needs farm worker, and he will pay 15,000. You give them 15,000 for feeding, then we pay them 15,000 at the end of the month. So everything is like, I think everything, the way he put it, I now put it there. I said, can you feed on 500 naira per day? Because he said 15,000 for feeding. It means 500 naira per day they will hit. How many of us can feed? And they don't eat our own kind of food. They don't even want fine. They don't want nice whatever. They just want the stomach to be filled up. They don't they don't do shakara about food or whatever. Just make sure they have solid food. Like I told you, I don't cook for them. I don't do anything for them. I just give them everything. Maggi, I'll buy packets. But because they use plenty Maggi, I have to tell them, no, you don't use more than 3 per day. Because they can finish 1 packet of Maggi in 1 week safe. So what I do sometimes, I buy packets, divide into 2, give them half. So it's draw them back to come and say, it has finished. You understand? So those are the things you are going to take care of. So if you cannot manage, the first step you need to learn is how to make your farm productive. So 2023, don't just go and start a farm when you don't even know how to run the farm. And each day I keep posting farm management course. Come and learn vegetables, come and learn maize, come and learn this. Nobody is registering. I'm being sincere with you. But I look at people but they are ready to spend 10 million, they are ready to spend 5 million running a farm that will not bring out anything. But you need a foundation. You need to understand. I'm sure I've shared a lot with you right here. If your foundation is not good, you're not going to get a result. So get the farm manager, get this one, get this thing. If you don't know how to do it, you're not getting result. And it is not about your farm worker and farm manager or farm worker. It's about you yourself. You, the farm owners, need to know the principle. You need to learn. See, if not that, I stay on the farm most of the time. I do a lot of experiments. I check this stuff, I check that out. I'm able to share with you. I'm able to tell whoever is working with me, do this, do like this. The guys now, I told them on the farm yesterday, I was on the farm. Most times, like I told you, if I'm around, I go to farm, but I may not stay. I'll just check around, give them what to do. And since they already know what I want them to do, I'll move. Then when they come back, I'll ask, what do you do? They will tell me. The next morning, I'll go again. We'll go around, I'll tell them what to do. That's what I do. I'm my own farm manager. So you as farm owner, you're the one that will commit the money. You need to be your own farm manager. And how to be your own farm manager is to learn. When I say learning, if it is tomato you want to plant, you need to understand the stages involved Forget about farm manager or farm. I'm not saying you should not have farm manager. It's when you learn the stages, you'll be able to tell your farm manager, okay, have you prepared the nursery? Do you give it manure? Do you wet it this morning? If you don't do that, you're not going to get results. If you are planting coconut, even the base, the making of it, the digging and everything, they will not do exactly what they are supposed to do. But even you, the farm owners, don't know what they are supposed to do. So like I said, I have a training, I'll be rounding up. I have a training, I have a class. That class is resuming February, and you are going to be having a 1 hour every day. You get the class to learn, you get in assignments and homework. Then you send your own questions. You type. I'm going to teach everybody how to use Google Classroom. There's a classroom for it. I'm going to teach us how to use Google Classroom. We're going to be gradual about it. So the Google Classroom, from there, you send your own work back, and then on Saturday of every week, we stay together, everybody, one-on-one, and discuss. Okay, we chat and discuss. Okay, my assignment, I find this difficult. But if you don't submit your assignments regular, you'll be getting the classes even if you don't submit your assignment. But at the end of the day, you might not get. I don't know, someone like give certificate. If you don't submit your assignment, if you join us on Saturday, I will not respond to your own question because you did not do our work. You did not do my work. So if you are joining my class is 32,500. Actually 30,000, but there are a lot of charges I need to pay the banks and everything. And thank God you know our cashless policy and all these stuffs. So please, so it's 32,500. Class will resume in February. You just register. I will send the link. I will start sending the link out. If you want vegetables class, you key into vegetable class. If you want cash crops, when you talk of cash crops, coconut, cocoa, ogbono, sweet orange and everything, and you see my class, I'm going to tell you the markets. Remember, I have a farmers market in Lagos, and we're looking for people to supply because we have a lot of demand and we need people to supply. So you can see I have the network and a lot of processing I'm trying to do. A lot of partnership that we are really working on right now for the market. So you need to learn. And I hope this evening I've been able to explain to you, it's about farm workers, the type of farm workers, how to manage and run the farm workers, why your farm needs to be productive. See, this year, if you have not learned how to, this is dry season, we're still, this January, February, you cannot plant anything. So if you already have your land, leave the land, attend the class, learn a lot about the crop you want to plant. If it is beans, learn about it. If it is cassava, learn how to increase. Do you know there are countries where they are getting 90 tons of cassava per hectare? In Nigeria, we are still battling with 10 tons per hectare, the yield. But there are countries where people are already making 90 tons. Now, can you compare 90 tons to 10 tons on the same space of land? 90 tons to 5 tons on the same space of land. So what you need to do is to learn how to produce effectively. See, it is not about doing 10 hectares. It's not about doing 20 hectares. It's about doing 1 hectare effectively and getting back your money. If you manage a cassava farm successfully and you get 30 tons or even 50 tons, you are good to go no matter what the price they are selling in the market. The same thing with all other crops. But every one of us just jump into the farm, and like I told you, in my own case, I jumped into the farm, I messed up, I've made a lot of mistakes, but I start correcting my mistake by doing experiment. I experiment. Like I just told a class, I want to experiment with, there are a lot of things, there's a lot of things I'm starting the new year with. A lot of experiments too. And like I told you, I'll bill everyone for it. Because if I do my experiment and I'm sharing with you, you pay me for it. I'll charge you expensively for it. Because I learned expensively. So you need to learn. Don't do 10 acres. Don't do 20 acres. Do one successfully. You get the good result. And then you can now I don't even still advise you to multiply the experience. Don't multiply the experience. Gradually build on the experience. Babele, you're welcome. I've answered your question. You are late, yes. Well done. Came late to class. Yeah, but you can watch it over again. Yes. Actually started from the farm worker, the question you asked yesterday about the Benue guys. I didn't see it until I went offline. So I promised to attend it to you. So I've answered. Don't go near Benue guys. Don't go near northern guys. If you can get the foreigners, but like I said, before you get the foreigners, you need to understand how the system will work, how to increase your yield. If you cannot produce effectively, if you cannot increase your yield, don't get farm workers. If you can get land at the back of your house, like some people are looking, if you can do sack farming, do you know you can experiment with sack farming? Let me give you an example. If you want to farm with the sack, the first thing you will do is you get soil. That soil you get manure. You will treat it with manure and take proper care of it, and then before you plant into it, and then you start adding water. Sometimes you don't get manure. You can get little soil with manure, with cocoa pit. Cocoa pit you don't need to buy. Coconut husk, the back of coconut, that shaft at the back of coconut, that's what they mash. That's what they use to make cocoa pits. So you get it and mix it with your soil, and then put manure and use it to put it in sacks, in bags, and plant. Now, if that is the way you plant in soil, when that one come up, it will produce very well. Why then do you go to the farm and just see the soil that is not good, and you just plant anything anyhow on the soil? So you need to treat the soil the way you would take sack farming. So if you have sacks and everything, you can plant in sacks and everything, and you get good results when you do the right thing. You don't just put any type of soil in a sack and say, oh, I'm already farming. It will not survive. It will not do well. But there's process you need to follow. So if you follow the process and you get it, then you are good. Okay, so I will be rounding up now. So if I have other questions, sorry guys, I'm hearing my guinea fowl. They've been disturbing my pepper in the compound. There's nobody around. Isaac! They've been disturbing they are disturbing the guinea fowls are seriously disturbing my pepper nursery, because it's dry season and they need wet soil. So I'll be rounding up. If you have questions, if I see the questions, I may attend to them tomorrow. I may take care of them. So now, I hope I've been able to share a bit with you. You need to first understand how to plant before you start getting farm worker, before you even start buying material. If you don't have land yet, you should learn first before you buy land. Don't buy land, learn first before you buy land. You can buy land later when you finish learning. So I hope I make some sense in that. So please, but if you have land already, wait, leave the land, attend the class, understand the course, the topic you want to plant. You want to plant sweet pepper, you want to plant tomato, you want to plant cassava, you want to plant maize. Understand the class before you start buying materials to plant. That way you'll be able to make profit. That's why a lot of people, they run into the farm 1 year and they are out in the next year, and meanwhile they've committed a lot of money. A lot of money is wasted in the soil every time. So sorry guys, I have to hurry up. I will have to run. I don't want my guinea fowl to finish my pepper. So if you have any question, I will attend to it tomorrow. Thank you.